the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Turn 3 Racing Network, as tonight we're here with the NSRA Sunday Select Series as they present the PADD 199.5 at the famous Talladega Super Speedway. Thank you so much for joining us. Come on in, sit on down as we get ready to go racing once again here at the big, the bad, the really fast and wide Talladega Super Speedway. And I hope you all are as excited as I am to get tonight underway. We're going to kick it off with some qualifying drivers already making their way out onto the track as the 62 of Les Levy starts his first run. Driver's going to have about 5 minutes to lay down 2 laps here in qualifying. First one out on the speedway is the 62 of Les Levy. We'll see how he is going to end up. The 011 of Jason Kinzer making his way out onto the speedway as well. Drivers doing that well-known tactic. Get up to the high side, ride around the wall, get those tires up to temperature, get some speed, burn off some fuel. We're going to see those guys running that high, wide, and handsome on their first few laps out for qualifying. While all of this is going on, let's go ahead and take a look at our point standings coming into tonight. Our points are brought to you by GW Graphics. Paul Servant, Todd Poston, Daniel Holloway sitting top 3 with Mark Mann and DJ Mitzel sitting tied for 4th. This is the final race of the regular season. Top 12 in points are going to make it into the chase, and any driver who has 2 wins or more being locked in as well. 2 wins going to Paul Servant, Todd Poston, and DJ Mitzel, already well within the point boundary of that 12th spot. Jesse Unroe, Michael Coe kind of in that danger spot. Brandon Herndon, TJ Buck looking for a good night here. Maybe get that last minute addition into the chase format, which kicks off next week at Daytona. And we'll try and keep an eye on those point standings, how it all is going to shake down and work its way through as Brandon Herndon drops down for his fast lap. David Anderson in the 44 machine. Right now he is scored on pole as Brandon Herndon takes over the top spot in that 131. But the 44 machine now on his fast lap down on the inside line. J.R. Johnson running that Coors throwback paint scheme, finding himself in 10th place as he shuts down his qualifying effort. The 04 of Mark Mann out on track. "16 drivers have taken a time so far. Jesse Unroe in the 133, one of those drivers kind of on the bubble of our points cutoff, finding himself here trying to qualify well. He's on his fast lap right now, sitting in 17th spot. So Unroe in that 133 machine, hugging that yellow line as he makes his way onto the front stretch. We're going to follow him as he heads for the tri-oval and see where this See where this 133 is going to line up. He crosses the line and goes from 19th all the way up into first place. So Jesse Unruh trying to start off on the right foot. The 26 of Hunter Reynolds out on the speedway. This is a driver to keep your eye on. Capable of putting it on pole right now, sitting in 20th, but he's on his fast lap here as he's down on that yellow line. And Hunter Reynolds now down to the bottom, hugging the grass. Heads for the start-finish line, and the 26 is going to set a time good enough for pole position, knocking off Jesse Unruh in the 26. The 48 of TJ Buck going across the start-finish line there, and he's going to move from 21st to 13th spot. So a solid effort by the 48, but we're going to step away for the national anthem. No one go anywhere. We'll be back with tonight's starting lineup.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Tonight's race brought to you by People Against Distracted Driving, Kubota, and Key Realty. As the drivers start to roll off, it is time to go through tonight's starting lineup, brought to you by GW Graphics. Row number 1, the 26 of Hunter Reynolds and the 133 of Jesse Unruh. Row number 2 will be the 44 of David Anderson and the 88 of Dana Osborne. Row 3 will be the 3 machine of Paul Servant and the 17 of J.D. Crow. Row number 4, the 131 of Brandon Herndon and the 04 of Mark Mann. Row 5 will be the 603 of Peter Bailey and the 4 of Chris Akers. Row 6, the 91 of Sean Wilder and the 11 of Roy Grandy. Row number 7 will be the 48 of TJ Buck and the 011 of Jason Kinzer. Row 8, the 40 of Anthony English and the 62 of Les Levy. Row 9 will be the 37 of J.R. Johnson and the 27 of Sean Stevens. Row number 10 will be the 31 of Donald Bennett and the 84 of Lynn McNeese. Row number 11 will be the 101 of David Gainforth and the 21 of Daniel Holloway. Row 12 will be the 61 of DJ Mitchell and the 343 of Russell Hancock. Row 13 will be the 711 of Stephen Herman, and on his outside, the 31 of Todd Poston, making up our 26-car field here tonight. But the field making its way off at turn number 4 We're getting ready to go green flag racing, 75 laps the scheduled distance. Pace car getting out of the way. Hunter Reynolds in the 26, taking control of the field. The long wait through the trioval for the green flag to come out. They make their way side by side, 2 by 2. We get ready for the green flag. The 26 is gonna get on the throttle as the green flag waves, and we are underway here tonight for the People Against Distracted Driving 199.5. Talladega going to bring us all the spectacular racing action we could hope for, as the 26 got a good jump. He's going to make his way down the backstretch, but JD Crow pushing hard on the 133 at Jesse Unruh. That outside lane going to take over the top spot. Both the 133 and the 17 dive down to the inside. That leaves Mark Mann in the 04 out in front of that outside lane with the hard charging number 4 of Chris Akers on his back bumper. Keep an eye on that 3 of Paul Servant. He has the 2 wins required to lock himself into the championship chase, which kicks off next week. Not only that, he is your points leader right now coming into tonight's event. Jesse Unruh in the 133. One of those drivers that we're going to watch as well. Unruh sitting 11th in the point standings coming into tonight. So he's got a little bit of a worry to try and make this championship chase. Not a whole lot of points separate the 133 from Brandon Herndon in the 131. Herndon right there, 4th car in the outside lane. As Mark Mann dives down to the inside, he's going to try and take over the top spot. And he is going to lead a lap, maybe, as the 4 of Chris Akers gets a huge run on that outside lane, and Chris Akers is going to lead lap number 2. 2 laps, 2 different leaders coming to the start-finish line. This race already shaping up to be one full of intensity and desperation, as these drivers know what is on the line. The 26 of Hunter Reynolds, your pole sitter, already losing ground. He is falling back to the 4th car in the outside lane as Paul Servant dives down to the inside. Paul Servant leading the charge in the inside lane. But now the 44, David Anderson, trying to make something happen. And Anderson with a bit of momentum now. At the line, it will be the 3 of Paul Servant, and we have our 3rd different leader in just as many laps. Akers in the 4, going to make a move to the outside. Anderson in the 44 says, no, that is not for me. He goes up to the 3rd lane. We got 1 down to the inside. That was Mark Mann. Looked like Mark Mann got shot down to that inside lane. Able to gather it in, but he is going to lose a ton of time. But Mark Mann able to gather it back in without hitting anything. And we saw this last week, where even if a driver bumped you and you were square to his bumper, you would go spinning out of control. iRacing in the middle of a patch last week. Came out with a hot fix earlier in this week. One of the things that they fixed was the hitbox for these front bumpers and rear bumpers. But already Mark Mann seeing a similar issue that we had last week. So three wide here very early on as we're coming around to complete lap 5 of 75. Up in that 3rd lane, they're falling back a little bit, but trying to make something happen. Jason Kinzer moving down to the 2nd lane, but TJ Buck staying up on the high side in that 48 machine. Brandon Herndon working with him. 2 cars trying to make something happen. in that third lane. Akers in the 4. Has the lead and drops down to the inside. David Anderson in the 44 though. Now using his momentum from that outside lane to try and put himself out in front. Heading into the trioval, Anderson has the advantage, but Akers starting to build some momentum. At the line, it's going to be the 44 of Anderson leading his first lap of the night. And Hunter Reynolds started on pole, fell back to about 8th spot, now has made his way forward, finds himself second car outside lane, but the 3 and the 4 from Candy Shack Motorsports. Chris Akers in the 4, Paul Servant in the 3. Jesse Unruh in that 133 machine out of the MAGA stable. Third car on the inside line as the outside line looks to be struggling just a little bit to build some momentum as Anderson drops down to the inside lane, giving Hunter Reynolds the control of the outside lane. Two drivers who have fallen off the pace. That is the 04 Mark Mann. We saw him shoot down to the infield down the backstretch, but Mark Mann has lost the draft. He is in need of a caution to get caught back up to the field. However, he is not running last right now. The last car on the field, that is the 88 of Dana Osborne. Dana started from pit lane, and he is already about 10 seconds from going a lap down. The lead group of cars just about 12 seconds behind him, and they are closing quickly. Restrictor plate racing here, already claiming two drivers, the 88 of Osborne and the 04 of Mark Mann. Back to the front we go though. The 26, Hunter Reynolds trying to take over the top spot. First place to 24th place. They are running 1.5 seconds between each other. Last car in this lead pack, that is the 343 of Russell Hancock. Stephen Herman in the 711 just ahead of him. And the 84 of Lynn McNeese right there as well. Lynn biding his time and waiting for the right time to strike. Lynn kind of on the bubble here tonight. Came into this race 10th place in the point standings. 13 points to the good when this event started. We'll see if that 84 is going to be one of the 12 drivers who make it into the championship. As the 91 of Sean Wilder goes up to the high side. Wilder gets into the wall while he jumped up there. Pulls it back down in front of the 62 of Lynn McNeese. I'm sorry, the 62 of Les Levy. Good grief. Gonna be one of those nights, I can tell already. We go on board with the 91 machine. Daniel Holloway in the 21, just ahead of him. We're gonna try and make it 3 wide once again. Johnson in the middle, that 9 Coors car. Now they're creeping up on Jason Kinzer. Wilder has the momentum on that outside, gaining some ground. Paul Servant in the 3-year race leader. He has led for 4 laps. Now getting ready to try and make it 5 laps led, but Chris Akers in the 4 on his outside. Holloway still trying to lead the pack in that 3rd lane. They got 3 cars up there and they are making some ground here and there. as the 21 of Holloway, after moving forward in that third lane, is going to drop down for a brief moment, but now back up to that third lane. Wilder and Herndon following suit. Servant and Akers leading the two inside lanes. They are closing in on the 88 of Osborne. Osborne going to be the first car to go one lap down as he's going to creep down to that inside lane, let the pack flash by him. So Osborne stays on the apron as the field was 3 wide. Wise move by the 88 of Osborne to just get out of the way. Going to try and rejoin the pack here and catch a draft. Right now he is the only car 1 lap down. So Dana Osborne hoping for a caution here. Get himself the free pass and to get back on the lead lap. As the field works its way down the backstretch, everyone giving lots of room. Still trying to figure out the new settings for these cars here in iRacing. Different specifications here, a little bit different feel than what they had last week. We're coming up on green flag pit stops here in just a handful of laps. Green flag pit stops at a super speedway always change the dynamic of the track. Strategy always a part of racing. When you come down pit road is very important, almost as important as hitting your pit box, getting on the pit road cleanly, getting off of it cleanly and quickly, and pitting with a big enough group of drivers to try and build that top speed in the draft. The Akers in the 4, Hunter Reynolds in the 26, as Reynolds takes over and leads another lap, drops down to the inside with Daniel Holloway in the 21. Also, the 40 of Anthony English starting to make some noise as well. So Akers in that 4 machine, showing just how quickly your fortunes can change at a super speedway. Has led 3 laps here, but now finds himself 4th car on the inside lane, as several cars are going to break away for pit road. Jason Kinzer in the 011 stays out. He works his way through the tri-oval. He's going to try and lead his first lap of the race. But several drivers hitting pit road. Les Levy, J.R. Johnson, Daniel Holloway, Paul Servant, and Chris Akers all pitting here. First group of drivers to hit pit road for this first set of green flag pit stops. So Jason Kinzer leading the field. Hunter Reynolds in the 26, hard on his back bumper, giving him a nice little shove into turn number 3. And now Kinzer, Reynolds, and English are going to make their way on the pit road, but Kinzer, very aggressive entry, trying to save it, and Jason Kinzer is going to lose it. Taps the inside wall, and that is going to be very costly for the 011 of Jason Kinzer. But at the front of the field now is the 48 of TJ Buck. Sean Wilder, Brandon Herndon, Jesse Unroe sitting 1, 2, 3, and 4. David Anderson in the 44, JD Crow, and then the 88 of Dana Osborne, who is 1 lap down. These drivers have not come down pit road just yet. We'll see if they're going to hit pit lane this time. And they do as they scatter, spread out a little bit. Jesse Unruh almost getting into Sean Wilder. Anderson hard on the binders. Herndon's gonna get into Sean Wilder. Wilder goes through the grass as everyone's trying to get aggressive entries onto pit road. The 26 of Hunter Reynolds leading the group of drivers who have pitted. He is out all by himself. Looks like he could be in danger of being swallowed up by this group of drivers being led by the 4 Chris Akers. They are coming with a full head of steam. Chris Akers, Daniel Holloway, Paul Servant going to make the move to the outside lane. Les Levy going to follow in that 62. The drivers who just came down pit road now starting to rejoin the race. So Anderson in the 44 going to get passed by the 4 of Akers, and Chris Akers takes over the race lead. As I mentioned, hitting pit road at the right time, very important. The 4, the 21, the 3, the 62, all were part of the first group of drivers to hit pit lane. As Chris Akers is going to get turned, he is going to go and make contact with the outside wall, slides in front of the field, and somehow everyone able to avoid him as the first caution of the night is going to come out. And Chris Akers goes from the race lead to contact as we go to our turn 3 instant replay. Heading into the trial will look like the 21 of Holloway, square on the back bumper of the 4, still gonna make contact and get that 4 turned as he smacked that outside wall. It looks like slight damage on the 4 machine. We go back live. Chris Akers going to be one of the drivers who comes down pit road, but Daniel Holloway taking over the race lead. Short cautions here tonight. Lead lap cars and lap down cars are going to pit at the same time. And we do have an early exit. The first car out of the race here tonight, the 011 of Jason Kinzer, after smacking that inside pit wall. Damage too extensive for him to continue, so they have gone behind the wall. The 21 of Holloway is going to hit pit road. The 3 of Paul Servant stays out. So it looks like several drivers trying to decide whether to stay out or pit. The majority of the field coming down up pit road. Paul Servant in the 3, staying out to take over the race lead now. So guys, we're going to take a quick break here. No one go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
Grab the hard hats, grab the tools, grab the wheel. There's a job to do, ground to break, earth to move, a deadline to hit. Load in Randy and the boys. Randy's got shotgun, new guys in the back. Haul it all, dump it all, do it all. When there's something to prove, a reputation to uphold, you need the Kubota RTVX, North America's #1 selling diesel utility vehicle.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we are working our first caution of the night. The 3 of Paul Servant taking over the race lead. David Anderson in the 44 sitting in second. And third place going to the 48 of TJ Buck. Paul Servant, after having a rough race last week, trying to rebound. 2 wins to the 3's credit so far this season, locking him in to the chase. Only 3 drivers are locked in. Paul Servant, DJ Mitzel, who won the first 2 races of the season, and then Todd Poston picked up 2 wins as well. Those 3 well inside the top 12. So not only are they locked in, but they would have made it in on points as well. One driver who is not out here tonight, Pondo Co., who was on the bubble for the championship battle. Because of missing a race here, I think he is going to be out of the championship. Co., who picked up a win this season. Looks like going to be a spectator in the championship battle. We do have a very close battle going on at that 12th place cutoff in the point standings. TJ Buck in the 48 trying to make it in on points. Right now he is sitting in third, so looking for a good points night here so far, doing exactly what he needs to do in that 48. I do want to thank you all for joining us here tonight. Hope you all are enjoying the show. Still got a lot of racing to go as we have 54 laps to go. It'll be 53 when they take the green flag here. Lights are out on our pace car. Field stacked up 2 by 2 as we get ready to fire them off once again. Paul Servant going to lead the field to the green flag. David Anderson on his outside. Row number 2 will be the 48 of TJ Buck and the 62 of Les Levy. Les, who has missed the last 2 weeks. Glad to get him back behind the wheel. Even though he wasn't behind the wheel, he was watching the broadcast as we go green flag racing once again. Paul Servant, David Anderson, drag race towards turn number 1. Into 1 they go, everyone trying to get up to speed. Got to hit the gears cleanly. Looked like nobody spun the tires and everyone getting up to full song as quick as they can. Servant has the advantage for the moment. Anderson falling back just a little bit. TJ Buck pushing hard on that 3 machine. DJ Mitzel in the 61. Trying something on the outside lane. But Buck going to pull up just in front of him. And now the 48 making some noise. And TJ Buck going to lead his 2nd lap of the race. But Paul Servant really, time and time again, we see this, that inside lane really gains ground through the corners. That outside lane down the straightaways is a little bit faster. So what you'll see is these drivers on the inside lane go through the corner down on the bottom, especially the 26 of Hunter Reynolds. He'll take that inside lane through the corner, and then if he is cleared on the outside, he'll jump up to that outside lane down the straightaway and make the pass for the lead. As Stephen Herman in the 7-Eleven, his nickname Squirmin' Herman, drops down to the inside as we got one going around. One of our drivers turned sideways. It looked like the 4 of Chris Akers. Might have been the 21 of Holloway. Either way, they were able to gather it back in. So a good save there. But TJ Buck, Paul Servant hanging out at the front of the field here. Servant so far has led the most laps in the race at 12 and counting, as he's going to lead the next lap. It was heavy contact. The 4 of Chris Akers getting in trouble once again. The field stacking up behind them. Roy Grandy able to make it through, but Chris Akers in the 4. Heavy contact and several drivers involved as we go to our blimp view, brought to you by J.R. Johnson. And you can see the damage on the 4 machine. Let's back this up and go to our turn 3 instant replay. Squirmin' Herman in the 7-Eleven going to make heavy contact with the 4. We'll back this up, take another point of view at it. Herman goes into the corner, gets turned hard. And a big stack up ensues, collecting the 131 of Brandon Herndon. David Gainforth in the 101 getting a piece of it as well. I believe it starts with the 21 of Daniel Holloway as we go on board with Holloway. Let's see. Just cars got into the outside wall. Holloway had nowhere to go. Contact there shot him down to the inside. And the crashing happens behind him. So as the field makes its way towards pit lane, who's going to hit pit road this time? At about 10 laps since the last time the field was on pit road. Paul Servant going to make the break for pit lane. And it looks like the rest of the field's going to follow suit as well. Hunter Reynolds in the 26 down and away. Reynolds going to be the first one off of pit road. So our second caution of the night coming out here on lap 27. And Hunter Reynolds taking over the top spot with a solid pit stop effort. Punishment going to that silly blue cone. Gets taken out. Well-deserved choice there by that field to just continually run it over. Sooner or later, we might be able to get rid of that blue cone. While we have a moment, let's see. We can get in a word with any of our drivers out here tonight. And let's take a quick moment and see if we can talk to the driver of the 11 machine, and that is Roy. Roy, you got your ears on, bud?
Yes, sir.
Roy, that 11 machine right now finds itself in 18th spot, but you were able to squeeze through that incident as everything happened around you. Tell us a little bit about what that was like for you.
Oh, whoever's in front of me on the wall, I was just hoping they'd move, and they did, and I thought I was out of it, and here come some more guys, and just hung a hard left and held my breath, and it worked out.
Well, Roy, that 11 machine, you know, got a nice paint scheme on it, black and red AMD, but you got some fans out here cheering for you. How are you going to be attacking the rest of this race?
Oh, just trying to stay out of trouble, really. That's the plan.
All right, man. Well, while you have a moment, any shout outs or thank yous you'd like to give?
All just thanks to you guys doing a great broadcast every week, and to NSRA for putting on a good show every week.
All right, that is Roy in the 11 machine, who is able to squeeze through some great heads up driving by him. We are working our second caution, but the lights have gone out on the pace car. Field's starting to stack up 2 by 2. Everyone had come down pit road. Fuel only for multiple drivers. Some drivers taking left side, some right side, some drivers taking 4 tires. The first car out of pit lane that took 4 tires is the 48 of TJ Buck. So we'll see if those 4 tires are going to work to TJ Buck's advantage here. He was one of the drivers at the front before this caution came out. TJ needing a solid run to get himself into championship contention. Not a bad idea, kind of not really at the halfway point, but 4 tires here. Got a little bit of time to make up any lost ground that gives you some notes to put in your book. See how 4 tires are going to affect your car. Talladega not known for tire wear. It's still handy to have information to fall back on. But Hunter Reynolds in the 26, bringing this field down through the trial as we get ready to go green flag once again. Hunter Reynolds in the 26, Paul Servant in the 3, DJ Mitzel, and then Sean Stevens as the green flag flies. We're back underway as we begin lap 30. 26 trying to pull away. Restrictor plate racing lending itself to this draft pack. Everyone having to work together to get up to speed, but the 26 has the advantage as that outside lane just did not get rolling very quickly. But don't count them out as Paul Servant and Sean Stevens are making up some ground. Peter Bailey in the 603 closing in as well. Off of turn number 4, here comes the field heading right for you. The 26 has the advantage for the moment. DJ Mitzel in the 61 making a move to the outside, takes over the race lead. And Mitzel being credited with leading his first lap of the race. The field working down the backstretch, heading off into turn number 3. Chris Akers in the 4 machine, who was spinning like a top under that last caution, finds himself in 17th place. Daniel Holloway in the 21 right there. That is Candy Shack Motorsports teammates trying to work together, trying to get back to the front of the field. Paul Servant in the 3. Now leading the charge on that outside lane. Do want to check in on our 4th Candy Shack Motorsports driver. That is the 88 of Dana Osborne. Osborne started from pit lane, went 1 lap down, but was able to use the free pass from the first caution to get back on the lead lap. Right now, Osborne finds himself in a 21st spot, but he is back on the lead lap. 25 cars out on the track, all 25 are on the lead lap. David Gainforth in the 101 machine has lost the lead draft. He is falling behind as he is going to pull onto pit road. So problems continue for that 101 machine. But DJ Mitzel from 3 Wide Motorsports out in front. Hunter Reynolds on his back bumper. And now I feel is a good time to do a little bit of turn it up. So join with me as we crank out these car sounds as they make their way around this 2.66 mile super speedway. Paul Servant battling with the 61 of DJ Mitzel. Servant on that inside lane. Mitzel and Servant, 2 wins apiece, 2 drivers locked in the championship battle, but one of these guys trying to win the race and become the only 3-time winner of this season. Savant has the advantage on that inside line for the moment, but watch out for that outside lane to come roaring back down the back stretch. One driver we haven't talked about yet so far here tonight, driver who started 26th here tonight, finding himself in 10th place. That's the 31 of Todd Poston. He is a two-time winner so far this season. So he is locked into the chase as well. One of only 3 drivers who are officially locked in. Todd came in to this points battle second place in the standings, so having a good season overall. Going to try and continue it into the championship chase, which kicks off next week. Hope you all will join us for that one. Speaking of it, that is June 21st, chase race number 1, going to be at Daytona, and it is only going to have one round. We're going to take 12 drivers, eliminate, I believe it's going to be eliminating 4 drivers, whittle it down to 8. Chase race number 2 going to be at Talladega Super Speedway. That's June 28th. And then finally, as we got trouble on the backstretch, J.R. Johnson goes around. Several cars getting involved in this one. J.D. Crow getting a piece of it. Brandon Herndon involved in another one. Anthony English involved. As trouble comes out once again, rearing its ugly head down the backstretch. Go ahead and take another peek at this one and go to our turn 3 instant replay high atop the blimp. Anthony English going to bump into the 4, then hits the 9 of J.R. Johnson. Everyone trying to scramble for some room to run. And so the yellow flag flying once again. J.R. Johnson, heavy damage on that machine. Paul Servant in the 3. Out in front when the yellow flag came out. Pace car has picked up the field. But before I was rudely interrupted by some exciting action on the track, was going to say we are off July 5th for the 4th of July weekend. And then our championship race coming at you July 12th at Daytona. We will be crowning a champion. So mark your calendars. 3 very intense races coming up. 1 race in each round of elimination. The field on the pit road once again. Paul Servant in the 3, going to try and hit his pit box cleanly. Hunter Reynolds as well, looking for a good pit stop here. DJ Mitzel down and away. But it looks like the 3 of Paul Servant going to win the race off of pit road. So Servant maintains the race lead. While we have a minute, I want to thank the sponsors who have helped make this season possible. People Against Distracted Driving. If you have a moment, go ahead and go to PADD.org. Find out all your information there. And of course, Kubota, and Key Realty, all making this race happen and this season. While you have a moment, if you want, you can go ahead and let these drivers know how much you appreciate the hard work that they put in each and every week. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Let them know that you are enjoying the show that they are putting on for you here tonight. We are on the downhill side of the lap counter. Gonna have 33 laps to go when they cross the start finish line this time. We are working our third caution of the night. We have had 18 lead changes among 8 different drivers. Now make it 19 official lead changes among 9 different drivers, as J.R. Johnson going to lead his first lap of the race. But Johnson having damage on that 9 machine. We're going to see how that works out for him. Tough call to make for the 9. He is trying to get all the points he can. Johnson came into tonight 19th place in the points standings. Kind of on the outside shot of being able to make it, but still doing everything he can to try and win this race and win a spot into the playoffs. Paul Servant in the 3 machine on his outside for the restart. The 61 of DJ Mitchell on row number 2, and the 44 David Anderson on the outside for this restart. Row number 3 going to be the 27 of Sean Stevens and the 31 of Todd Poston. You can see the damage to the back bumper of the 9 as the pace car peels off, and the 9 is going to follow suit. He is going to hit pit road after leading a lap. That's going to move up that inside lane. DJ Mitchell now taking over inside of row number 1. DJ Mitchell, Paul Servant working their way through the trioval, waiting for that green flag to come out. And here we go. We're back underway as the laps begin winding down the field, trying to get up to speed, trying to shift through the gears. Don't spin the tires. Don't miss a gear. Accelerate as fast as possible. It all looks easy from the outside, but inside, these drivers have to be picture perfect, shift at the right time. Don't want to do anything to lose momentum on these starts, lose spots, as track position is everything. But here we go down the backstretch. DJ Mitchell, Paul Servant, door to door. Sean Stevens washing up just a little bit. David Anderson gave him room. But Mitchell with the advantage coming off of turn number 4. Side by side, the field continues to run. Brandon Herndon in the 131. Survived a couple incidents so far here tonight, trying to keep his championship hopes alive. Sean Wilder in the 91 on his outside. Wilder pulling ahead through the tri-oval. For the moment, we have two groups of drivers, the second group being led by the 17 of J.D. Crow. Russell Hancock in the 343 and the 40 of Anthony English, along with Roy Grandy, Daniel Holloway, and the 88 of Dana Osborne. This group of drivers trying to close the gap to this lead pack. As we got more trouble, the 7-Eleven is going to go around. Stephen Herman in trouble, smacking the wall. He's going to collect Daniel Holloway as they spin down off the racing line. We stay green, and Holloway in the 21 trying to get rolling. Herman trying to get rolling as well. They are struggling to get up to speed. Let's go ahead and take a look at how that went down. Herman in the 7-Eleven machine falling victim to what could be an accordion effect. Tried to check up. Sean Wilder didn't get the message, and Herman just bouncing off the wall. Holloway with nowhere to go. But all of that happened down below the racing line, so iRacing not throwing the caution. Paul Servant out in front as J.R. Johnson going to rejoin this field. He now finds himself 2 laps down. Stephen Herman making it onto pit road. Daniel Holloway on pit road as well. DJ Mitzel in the 61 thought about dropping down to the inside lane, but Paul Servant just had it by a nose. "28 laps to go here in our scheduled distance. Keep in mind, we will use green, white, checkered if we have to." But side by side, the battle continues for the race lead. The field getting a little bit scattered out now. Sean Wilder in the 91 falling back, has lost the lead draft. But J.D. Crow in the 17 has also fallen off. Brandon Herndon now following the 9 of J.R. Johnson. And then it's back to 17th spot. That is the 84 of Lynn McNeese, the 343 of Russell Hancock, and the 11 of Roy Grandy sitting in 11th place. Then David Gainforth in the 101 rounding out your top 20. These drivers have all been separated and running solo efforts out there. So they are running about 15 miles an hour slower than the rest of the field. Anthony English involved as well in this group of drivers who are hoping for a caution. But the 40 of Anthony English, last car on the lead lap. Stephen Herman, J.R. Johnson, and Daniel Holloway all 2 laps down. And the 7-Eleven of Herman is leading this group of drivers who are 2 laps down. So he's hoping for a caution to get back one of his 2 laps. But at the front of the field, it is the 61 of DJ Mitzel Paul Servant pushing hard on that back bumper in the 3 machine. John Stevens in the 27 machine finding himself in 3rd place. Jesse Unroe in the 133, 4th car on the inside line. As Unroe is going to jump up to the high side, right in front of the 44 of Anderson. And Unroe taking over the race lead. Todd Poston now leading the charge on the outside lane. And Donald Bennett, someone we haven't talked about here tonight, trying to close in on his back bumper. Holloway going to get swallowed up here, and he is going to find himself 3 laps down. So Jesse Unroe out in front, the 44 of David Anderson on his back bumper. Todd Poston, Donald Bennett trying to make something happen in the outside lane. Poston inching his way forward. But Jesse Unroe out in front of the field. Unroe, one of those drivers who is on the bubble. As Bennett's going to jump up way up high, but tucks it back down behind the 31 of Poston. We are just a handful of laps away from what could be the final pit stop of the night, as Anthony English goes 1 lap down. He's going to try and tuck in behind these guys, try and stay the first car 1 lap down. English falling in line behind the 21 of Daniel Holloway, but your race leader is the 133 of Jesse Unroe. Unroe has led for 5 laps here tonight. So far, the most laps led going to Paul Servant, as he has been out in front for 26 laps. We have had 9 different leaders out here tonight. As we are looking at 20 laps to go, the fuel window going to open up here in about 2 laps to make it the rest of the way on fuel. And I say that if you don't account for a green, white, checkered. So I have a feeling these drivers are going to try and carry it as far as they can. Make sure that when they come down pit road, it is going to be the last time that they have to hit pit lane. So now comes the time to start thinking about what you want to do, how you want to play this out. Do you take a gamble that it stays green the rest of the way? Do you want to try and factor in that there's the possibility of a green, white, checkered going into an extended distance? Should the caution come out within the last 3 laps of this race, we will go into a green, white, checkered mode. Right now we have 19 laps to go. .21 cars are on the lead lap. Last car on the lead lap, that is the 88 of Dana Osborne. We caught a glimpse of Osborne in that previous camera shot. It's going to be the next car to go one lap down if he can't catch a break. Bennett trying to make something happen in that third lane with the 48 of TJ Buck. Now starting to try and make some noise as well. Buck on the back bumper of the 31 machine. Anderson still tucked in tight behind that 133 of Unruh. Fuel window is open to make it the rest of the way on fuel, but so far nobody coming down pit lane. Drivers trying to put a few extra laps into that fuel tank when they hit pit road for the final time. Down to 17 laps to go. Most of this field getting single file as Dana Osborne in the 88 about ready to be swallowed up by the field, and here they come making the break for pit lane. Several drivers peeling off. David Gainforth going to lead the charge. Anderson, very aggressive entry onto pit road. He is going to make the pass on Jesse Unruh as they hit pit lane. That is going to give the lead to the 31 of Donald Bennett. TJ Buck staying out, Dana Osborne staying out, Sean Stevens, Hunter Reynolds, all of them are staying out as well. Osborne, first car, one lap down now. The win will Bennett and Buck come and hit their pit stop. Try and get in and off of pit lane as fast as possible. And here they come. Bennett and Buck, clean entry onto pit road. Lynn McNeese leading this group of drivers of Russell Hancock and Brandon Herndon, and they're going to make the break for pit lane as well. But the 44 of David Anderson on and off pit road very quickly. He has got a bit of a gap back to the 61 of DJ Mitchell and Todd Poston. So Anderson waiting for some drafting help here. Right now, your race leader is the 48 of TJ Buck as he makes his way around turns 1 and 2 down on the apron, trying to get up to speed, trying to hold on to the top spot. Gainforth in the 101 up to full speed, but he is one lap down. Now he gets his lap back, but here comes the 44 David Anderson as TJ Buck can only watch helplessly as that 44 using the draft off the 101 is going to slide down in front and take over the race lead. But DJ Mitchell and Todd Poston, who have been working together, had way more momentum, and now DJ Mitchell has the lead. But TJ Buck going to make a move to the outside here, but now thinks better of it, drops back down, and he's going to settle into 4th place for the moment. So what could be the final stop of the night sees the 61 of DJ Mitchell as the race leader. Teammate Todd Poston tucked in right behind him. David Anderson sitting in 3rd place. Anderson making a move to the outside lane with Jesse Unruh and Paul Servant. So back to 2 wide racing we go as the field gathers back together. Mark Mann in the 04 machine, 4th car on that inside line. We saw Mark Mann in the very early stages of this race get shot down to the inside, down the back stretch. Was able to gather it back in, stayed on the lead lap, and here he is with 13 laps to go, making his way back to the front. But your race leader is the 61 of DJ Mitzel. David Anderson in the 44 on his outside, but Paul Servant now going to take it 3 wide along with the 4 of Chris Akers. Candy Shack Motorsports trying to make something happen in that 3rd lane. Now the 62 of Les Levy going to join those 2 drivers as Paul Servant inches his way to the front of the field. DJ Mitzel, Todd Poston still working together down on the yellow line. Going to have 11 laps to go when they cross the line this time. Mitzel going to lead his 12th lap of the race. None of that matters though. What matters is who leads the final lap of this race. That is going to be your race winner. We still got just a little bit of racing to do before we can figure out who that is. But DJ Mitzel, Todd Poston working very well together down on the bottom line. Teammates hooked up nose to tail. TJ Buck in the 48 machine trying to make it into this championship battle on points. He's sitting in 3rd place. A solid run for the 48, but he needs to bring it home. This time by, it'll be 10 laps to go. As the storylines start to unfold, the strategies all starting to shape up. How's this going to play out? Unrow in the 133 came into tonight in 11th place in the point standings. Can he get that solid finish he needs to secure his championship hopes? Les Levy in the 62. Trying to make something happen in that 3rd lane. Paul Servant, Chris Akers up there with him, making it 3 cars challenging from that 3rd lane. This lead pack of cars has 12 lead lap drivers in it. Anthony English in the 40 is 1 lap down. The 101 of David Gainforth, 1 lap down as well. The 343 of Russell Hancock down on the bottom. Hancock finding himself 2 laps down now. As we got a little bit of contact, Paul Servant's going to go around, and a huge stack up. Peter Bailey involved. Hunter Reynolds getting a piece of it. Chris Akers got a piece of that as well. Les Levy trying to refire his machine and get rolling. But the yellow flag is going to fly once again. We're going to take a peek at what happened here from high atop our blimp. And it looks like Paul Servant, David Anderson make contact. Multiple cars involved. Take another look at this as we go on aboard the 4 machine of Akers. Akers going to make contact with the 62, but hard on the brakes trying to find a way through. So as we go back live, Akers having a rough night here, but multiple cars getting involved here in the late stages of the race. Anderson, Stevens on the pit road. Hunter Reynolds in the 26. Damage to his race machine. He's also going to hit pit lane. But DJ Mitchell staying out. And so while we have a moment, I'm going to take a quick break, and we will be back to bring you the finish to tonight's race. No one go anywhere. We'll be back after this. Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. 6 laps to go as the lights go out on the pace car. The field getting stacked up 2 by 2. 3 wide motorsports on the front row for this restart. Todd Poston in the 31 on the outside. DJ Mitchell in the 61 on the inside. The driver who got the free pass, the 101 of David Gainforth, gets back on the lead lap, but tail end of the longest line. Everybody has a shot at winning this thing who is on the lead lap. Anything can happen, and anything usually does happen. Meaning what we're about to see next, I couldn't tell you, folks. As soon as I know what's about to happen, something unpredictable, something wild, something crazy takes place and sets your hair on fire. So no one go anywhere. We're gonna finish this thing out. Green flag will fly with 5 laps to go. Pace car getting out of the way. what could be our final restart of the night. DJ Mitchell, Todd Poston on the front row. Row number 2, the 48 of TJ Buck, the 133 of Jesse Unrow. Then it's Mark Mann and Chris Akers on the restart here from row number 3. Field works its way through the tri-oval, and the green flag is out as we're back underway once again. Peter Bailey, Sean Stevens making a little bit of contact, but they gather it back in as teammates go door to door here through turns 1 and 2. Onto the backstretch we go. JD Crow moving up to the high side. Lynn McNeese looked like got into the back of Crow a little bit, but JD Crow staying up on the wheel saves it from further contact. Lynn McNeese, who had been hanging out at the back of the pack all race long, finds himself inside the top 10. He's now the 4th car in that outside lane. Off of turn number 4, back onto the front stretch we go. And it still remains 3 Wide Motorsports locking out that front 2 spots for each lane. One of these drivers could be the winner. Who's it going to be? Can TJ Buck split up teammates here? Can he figure out a way to put that 48 into victory lane? Don't count out Jesse Unrow, Chris Akers, Mark Mann, or David Anderson, as Mitchell has the clear advantage. Poston has to keep even with the 48 of TJ Buck. As soon as Buck has an opening, he's going to try and move to that outside lane. We got drivers jumping up to the 3rd lane. That is Hunter Reynolds in the 26, Paul Servant in the 3. They are trying to make some noise. And Buck finally able to make the move to the outside. TJ Buck now leading the charge in the outside lane as we have 3 laps to go. DJ Mitchell in the 61, hugging that yellow line, staying committed to the bottom. Now Mark Mann clears the 48. Will Mark Mann make the move up to the high side? And he does, as Lynn McNeese is going to go around and JR Johnson gets involved. The yellow flag is going to come out once again, and we are going to head into our first green-white checkered attempt. And Lynn McNeese, who had just made his way inside the top 10, is going to get caught up in this one. Let's go to our turn 3 instant replay and see what happened. Lynn McNeese in that 3rd lane. Hunter Reynolds in the 26, just going to make contact with his inside bumper. Paul Servant gets caught up in it. JR Johnson getting caught up in it as well. Les Levy in the 62 getting a piece of it. As Johnson was fighting for control of it, collects the 62 as they spinning through the tri-oval. So once again, the field goes under the control of the pace car. Now working our 5th caution of the night. We have had 28 lead changes among 10 different drivers, but this is going to be our first attempt at a green-white checkered. Cars who took damage under this caution heading to pit road. Brandon Herndon in the 131 getting the free pass. Herndon gonna find himself back on the lead lap. Herndon, one of those drivers on the bubble to make it into championship playoffs. Going to get a breath of fresh air here as he ends up back on the lead lap. Going to have at least 3 laps to try and make something happen. So the field trapped behind the pace car once again. Mark Mann in the 04 had just made the move to the outside lane to try and take over the race lead when that caution came out. Now he is going to find himself starting on the front row with the 61 of DJ Mitzel. David Anderson in the 44 and TJ Buck in the 48 scored 3rd and 4th place. As the lights go out on the pace car, the field going to stack up 2 by 2. Drivers' fuel tanks are starting to run a little bit low. Everyone should have enough for at least 1 green-white checkered attempt. If we go to a second, we may see some of these drivers not have enough fuel. They may try and pit. They may try and finish it out. Here we go. Man, oh man. The butterflies are building. Final race in the regular season, coming down to its first attempt at a green-white checkered. DJ Mitzel, Mark Mann on the front row for what could be the final restart of the night. David Anderson, TJ Buck, row number 2. Row number 3 will be the 17 of JD Crow and the 31 of Todd Poston. Pace car peeling off, going to hit pit lane. Mitzel in control of the field now, going to carry him into the tri-oval, and then when the green flag comes out, we will see who is it going to be. Each driver knows what is on the line. Each driver going to try and figure out how they can get themselves into the NSRA Sunday Select Series Championship Playoff. Here we go. Green flag is out. We are back underway. Mark Mann getting a good restart here, trying to edge out in front of the 61 of DJ Mitzel. But Mark Mann not having anyone on his back bumper. Anderson in the 44 already pushing hard on the 61 of Mitzel. Finally, the 48 of TJ Buck closing in on the 04 gives him a hard shove down the backstretch. The 04 with a bit of a wiggle when they made contact. Chris Akers in the 4, trying to make something happen in the third lane. He's got the 3 of Paul Servant going to the high side with him. Flagman has the white flag in his hand. When they cross the start-finish line, that is it. No more attempts at a green-white checkered, so here we go. Final lap of the race. Final lap of the regular season. And Mark Mann trying to take away this race win from the 61 of DJ Mitzel. But Mitzel right back down on the inside lane, has the advantage. Todd Poston makes contact, but he goes spinning down to the inside. Lone car in that situation, but we're going to finish this one out. And Mark Mann has the race lead for the moment. Now he's going to dive down in front of the 61, and he is going to get turned. DJ Mitzel goes for a spin, and Mark Mann out in front as the field collapses behind him. Everyone scrambling, trying to figure out what to do. But Mark Mann, all alone, going to come across and win the final race of the regular season. He picks up the win here at the PADD 199.5. And Mark Mann brings it home in first place. JD Crow scored in second, and Jesse Unroe finishing in third as he goes up in smoke after the start finish line. TJ Buck in the 48 machine going to finish in 12th place. A wild finish for sure. But your race winner, the 04 of Mark Mann, picking up his second win of the season. Championship contention being settled out, but Mark Mann celebrates the victory. My oh my, what a wild last lap that was, and it started with the 31 of Todd Poston going around on the back stretch. So we're going to step away for a moment and set up our post-race show. No one go anywhere. We'll be back to talk to our top 3 drivers. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as I have caught up with our race winner, the 04 of Mark Mann. Second win on the season for the 04. And Mark, congratulations. What a race you had out there tonight.
Yeah, buddy, that was a fun race. It was up and down for me, though. I got behind there early and kind of stayed with it and logged some laps alone, and that was a little bit lonely, so I figured I better stay in the pack. Otherwise, I didn't really want to finish last again like I did last week. So just got lucky there at the end. I looked in my rear view and there was a big pile up, and I saw my relative had about a second on third and second. And it's better to be lucky sometimes than good.
Well, you bring it home across the start finish line first. And, you know, you mentioned being all by yourself out there. We saw you get turned very early on, shoot down to the infield, but elbows up driving, kept it off the wall, gathered it back in, and never gave up out there tonight.
Yeah, that was definitely no fault of anybody there. These cars are a little bit loose when you get on them. And actually, the pusher was pretty loose tonight too, pushing. But yeah, just stayed in it, and thankfully it stayed straight. I was able to stay on the lead lap, got a timely caution, and brought it home for Alliance Motorsports. Really proud of this team. Really proud of this race. I had a good time tonight.
Well, Mark, your second win of the season, well deserved. Shout outs or thank yous you'd like to give?
Yeah, like always, I'd like to thank my colleague Mara Clark, who always watches all the races, and fans and friends at home, Alliance Motorsports, PADD, NSRA, and UKR, and Turn 3 Racing. If everybody could give a like and subscribe, that'd be much appreciated. Goes a long way.
All right, Mark, man, your race winner, getting it done out here tonight, celebrating with a blown engine as all the other drivers come up and give him a friendly kiss on the nose or a pat on the back. But now we move on to our second place finisher, and that is the 17 of JD Crow. JD finishing second place here tonight. What a great race you had, showing up, doing everything you had to do to make sure that you got all the points you could and stayed in the championship top 12.
Thank you, KR. Yeah, that was kind of the plan for the night for the whole team. We just wanted to make sure everybody got a bonus point where they could, and there at the end, just we were counting positions and figured out where everyone needed to be, and hopefully at the end of the night we got 3 or 4 cars in that final 12. So.
Well, the 17 machine with a second place finish out there. Tell us about that last lap and what you were seeing and what you had to do to survive it.
Well, we kind of talked about it on the pace lap there. We were worried that some of the guys up front were probably going to be on really old tires, might spin them. I had Jesse behind me and Dave in front of me, and I kind of told Dave if he pushes hard and gets a chance to pop up to the top, that Jesse and I would fill the bottom. And he did that. I know that Jesse kind of popped up to the top. There was a little bit of gap, so I had him come on down in front of me because he was on the borderline there for points.
Still hitting you, JD, until you're done with your interview.
And wanted these guys are beating me up in the car. So I told Jesse to move on down, and man, we came off 4. They were pinching the bottom line pretty tight. They got Todd messed up, got him knocked out of the way, and then I was just pushing Jesse, trying to get as high a finish as we could. Something else happened, and Jesse and I just kept going. He slid up in front of me. I tried to give him a real hard boost to get him on down the track, and then he was just too messed up, and we salvaged a second out of it, and he managed to come home third, and I think he got solidly in the chase, so that's great.
A solid effort by the 17 machine here tonight as the 21 of Holloway a bit abuses your car. I guess passing tech isn't going to be a problem now.
I don't think so. He just gave me some of those Hershey kisses. He will be good.
All right, man. Well, any shout outs or thank yous you'd like to give for your second place finish here tonight?
You bet. I'd like to thank all the guys back in Groveland, Florida at J Concepts radio controlled car parts and accessories, jconcepts.net, for being on the car all season. And got to thank the team, Jesse, Brandon. Man, Brandon worked hard and managed to get him a top 10, put him solidly, hopefully, in the chase as well. And Hondo, of course, Jesse, Dave, several of the other guys that run with us all season. Got to thank Sean for hanging out with us tonight and working with us all night as well. And of course, all the guys at PADD for sponsoring the season, and KR, you guys at Turn 3 for doing what you do in broadcast. And as I told you in the pre-race, I hope you guys have a couple laps to really talk about at the end, and it looks like we gave it to you.
That you did, and JD, again, a solid finish out there tonight. Nice job.
Thank you, KR, and look forward to the chase.
All right, that was our second place finisher, JD Crow. But now we move on to our third place finisher, and that is Jesse Unroe. And Jesse, a solid third place finish out here tonight, helping you in that championship battle. Walk us through what happened for you on that last lap as well.
Well, I kind of found myself back in about 7th place and I was pretty content there. I was just going to kind of ride it out through the finish. I didn't really have any openings or, you know what I mean? I wasn't able to get up through the pack, so I was just going to ride it out, and they all started wrecking, and I just never lifted. I just kept my throttle in it and just kind of bounced off a few cars, and JD come up behind me and gave me a little bump to get me back up to speed, and managed to get me ahead of a few guys that were coming for sure, and managed to come away with the third tonight. And yeah.
Well, you came into tonight on the bubble for the championship contention. A solid finish here, going to really put you over the top and make you one of our 12 drivers to go for the championship next week at Daytona. How do you feel about that?
Oh yeah, we're looking forward to the chase as a team. We've all worked pretty hard this season to get where we're at, and we work real well together. Brandon, Dave, JD, Sean's been running with us lately, so I'd like to thank those guys, and congratulations to Mark Mann. I know I got him a little loose and shot him down inside there. It was just hard running, and I'm glad he was able to come with a win and recovered from that. So.
Well, any shout outs or thank yous you'd like to give Jesse for this third place finish here tonight?
Yeah, of course. I'd like to start up by thanking Turn 3 for putting the show on, and our sponsor PADD, and as well as my team Mega. All the guys been doing a good job this season, so that's all you can ask for.
All right, that is your third place finisher, Jesse Unruh, bringing it home with a solid finish. He needed that to put him over the edge and make it as one of our championship 12 drivers to go into what could be a deep run into the playoffs. They had to survive here tonight, got it done. And man, what a race we had here tonight. I want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight. Nothing left but to go through our race results. Mark Mann in the 04 picking up the race win. JD Crow bringing it home in second. Third place going to Jesse Unruh. Donald Bennett going to bring it home in fourth place. Fifth goes to Roy Grandy. Sixth, Brandon Herndon, who needed a good run as well. So that points still waiting on official count, but I believe Brandon Herndon may have made enough to make it into the championship 12, but if not, it's going to be by the skin of his teeth. Peter Bailey in the 603 bringing it home in seventh. Eighth place, Todd Poston, who went for a spin on that last lap down the backstretch. Lynn McNeese in the 84 machine brings it home in ninth. 10th going to the 91 of Sean Wilder. Hunter Reynolds in 11th. TJ Buck finishing in 12th. 13th, David Anderson. David Gainforth finishing in 14th. Paul Servant, 15th. 16th, going to the 27 of Sean Stevens. 17th, DJ Mitzel. 18th, Chris Akers. Les Levy finishing in 19th. 20th, going to J.R. Johnson. 21st, Russell Hancock. 22nd, Stephen Herman. 23rd, Daniel Holloway. Anthony English going to finish in 24th spot. Dana Osborne finishing 25th, and 26th will be the 011 of Jason Kinzer. So that's going to do it for us here tonight. Make sure you join us next week, June 21st, for Chase Race number 1 at Daytona. I want to thank you all for joining us, and I hope you all enjoyed the show that these drivers put on for you here tonight. So until next time, y'all stay safe, and we'll see you then.